What is up, everybody, and welcome to October. Yes, October. It's October. I know I've said this 5 times already, but I wanted to do something different for this October. Instead of doing music video makeup Mondays, we're going to be doing movie Mondays and movie Fridays. There's a lot of fun Halloween movies out, and so I thought, let's try something different and let's do movies for this month only. So I'm excited. This first week, this first Friday of this month, we're gonna be doing Miss Elvira. She is a very iconic mistress of the dark. She was really big in the 70s, 80s, 90s, all of that. And so I'm really excited to recreate this look and talk to you a little bit about her. So yeah, if that's something that interests you, please keep watching. And also down below, I'm gonna be linking all the products that we use, along with wigs, hair pieces, all that sort of stuff. So if you are looking to create this look, you can do it. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. So given that this look is very heavy on the eyes, I did want to start off with the face first. I know it's kind of against my usual sort of thing, but given how extravagant it is, I think that's what we're going to start with today. I did not stick my wig on all the way because I did get some bangs, so if you're seeing this, that's the reasoning. So let's go ahead and start off with our face primer and then put on some foundation. So Elvira is made, or her actress is a woman by the name of Cassandra Peterson. Cassandra was born in Manhattan, Kansas, in 1951. So yeah, she's, how old is that? That's 60? 51, 70. Whoa, she looks good for 70. Wow. Okay, anyways, I was on a spree yesterday and I was watching some of her interviews that she did, and I didn't know this fact, and I just found it a very, 1, crazy, 2, just like, I don't know, you just could never tell. But when she was really young, like around 18 months old, she said that her mom actually went outside. She went outside, I don't know, she was in the house as a kid, and she was boiling eggs. And when she was boiling the eggs, I guess as a kid, you're curious what's going on, and she knocked the boiling water with the eggs all over her and suffered burns all over her body. I think it was about like, what, 35% of her body got burned. And she said that a lot of the areas where her mom grabbed her, basically the skin came off. So armpits, arms, back, all of that. So she did suffer with that. She did have to do a lot of surgeries, but to this day still does have some damage, whether it's through movie makeup or it's just through lighting. A lot of people say that they cannot see it, you know, in real life, but obviously for her, considering it was such a traumatic experience, she definitely can see them, and she's definitely like, yeah, they exist, they're still here. They did not go away. It was also said that in her teens, she actually worked as a drag king in Colorado Springs. So in a lot of interviews, she just kind of talks about how she was like, yeah, I was raised by that community. I was definitely raised by a lot of them, was surrounded by drags and all of that sort of stuff. While Cassandra was in high school, she also ended up convincing her parents to go to Vegas and to see a Vegas show. They ended up going to a show called Vive Les Girls, and it was at the Dunes. And they went to go see it, and a producer for the show actually noticed her and was like, hey, I like you. And so from there, they offered her a contract to basically be in the show and be a showgirl, and it took her some convincing, but she was able to get her parents to agree. Shortly thereafter, she started basically being on the show. And there she actually did end up meeting Elvis Presley, believe it or not. And with Elvis, they actually went on a date. What? I don't know. Anybody going on a date with Elvis, I'm like, how? What? Like, huh? I don't know. So he met her there, and then they went on a date. nothing really happened, but they went on a date nonetheless. In the 70s, it's safe to say that that was kind of when her career started to blossom. She ended up getting a role in James Bond's film, Diamonds Are Forever. I had to sing it, you know, just had to try to do that, you know what I'm saying? Which was a big film. It was a very big film. It was a small role, but she still got a role nonetheless. She also ended up playing a topless dancer in a movie called The Working Girls. She was like a stripper role. In the early 70s, she also ended up moving to Italy for a small period. And she was actually a lead singer in an Italian band called 80 and the Snails. Interesting name. While she was though in Italy, she did meet a film producer, and the film producer kind of came to a liking of her and ended up hiring her, or I guess casting her would be the proper terms, for a film called Aroma. And for the film, she had to move back to the United States and, you know, start doing her thing back in the US. From here, I'm gonna jump in and start doing the liner. The liner is a little bit more tricky. The key, as always, is gonna be going slow. So, gonna do some voiceover real quick, but feel free to watch. As we jump into doing the eyes, I just want to say over and over and over and over again, this is a look that you got to take slowly. As you will see, I learned that I probably should have done the eyeshadow first, and so I did that on the other eye later on. But do the black eyeshadow in your crease first, and then do the black liner on top. I swear, to make everything so much easier in the end, I promise you. So as we're doing this look, taking it slow, using our Morphe 250 M250 brush, let's go ahead and talk a little bit more about Miss Elvira. So in 1981, 6 years after Larry Vincent's death, who was the host of Fright Night, the producers decided that they wanted to bring the show back and wanted a female host. Originally, they wanted Miss Vampira, who was played by Malia Nurmi? I don't know how to say the last name. Who was originally played by her to revive the Vampira show. She ended up doing it for like a little bit, and then she wanted somebody else to be hired for the position. They didn't hire that person, so then she quit and was like, no, sorry. So the producers went on and they said, okay, well, we gotta hire somebody. So they put a casting call out and had about 200 people apply for the position. In the end, they ended up going with Miss Cassandra Peterson to play the role of Elvira. At the time, they kind of wanted a new spin for the show, and so they said they kind of left it up to her and her friend, who was Robert Redding, to come up with a sexy pump vampire sort of look. They kind of took a few different inspos and they came back with like a look where it was like sunken eyes, kind of like the dead look, and they were like, yeah, no, like, we're not gonna do that. We want the classic look, the black dress, black on black, come up with something within that space. And that's how they came up with the look. They took inspo from Sharon Tate's character in Fearless Vampire Killers, also took inspo from Ronnie Spector from the Ronettes. If you kind of see her hairstyle, it's very like in a bouffant sort of a look. The bangs, and then Sharon Tate was kind of similar, and they were like, all right, we're gonna do that, kind of give a certain vibe, the vampire looks all the way, and that's kind of how they got the inspo for the look itself. So shortly after, you know, the filming and, you know, show is on air, she's got the whole look, the vampire vibes going on. Didn't take long for Miss Vampira to come back around, and she put a cease and desist letter out, because at the end of each show, Miss Elvira would say unpleasant dreams, and she didn't really like the unpleasant dreams, because in the Vampira show she would say bad dreams, darling, at the end of the show. So it was a very similar line that was being used, and she did not appreciate it. Other than that though, the show was pretty different. The judge ended up kind of ruling that it was in favor of Miss Cassandra and not Miss Vampira, because besides, you know, just kind of saying that, I mean, the looks were very different. You know, while she was wearing all black, that's a very staple to Halloween. Vampira got her inspo from Morticia Addams, from the Addams family, and then we have now this, and so it was just kind of like, yeah, no, like, Elvira can stay on TV, basically. She doesn't need to cancel her entire show, you know, over that. Vampira went on to be extremely successful. She ended up having different just character roles, all in all. She would be on late night shows all the time. They would do costumes for her. They would have games. They would have figurines, all this sort of stuff. She became a national success off of the branding. She kind of had this Valley girl sort of vibe, and she got that actually early on in her career as well, playing another role. She kind of had this Valley girl vibe, and she was like, yeah, I kind of like this. And then becoming Elvira, she just kind of kept that attitude. Obviously, she became a very big sex symbol. A lot of men and cults and all that stuff were in love with her. In 1988, she also released her first film. First she was a TV host, and then she got her own film called Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. And then in 2000, she actually had a second film with the character Elvira called Elvira's Haunted Hills. And the film was filmed in Romania. When you're doing the blush, feel free to go heavy, because she is a very blush-filled woman. I usually never put this much, but you know, this is what we're doing today. Since the 2002 drop, she has stayed booked and busy. She is a person who is big time in the Halloween space. Every Halloween, she really kind of has either a special, something going on. I think recently she's doing like a Netflix sort of deal going on. She's just somebody who is all the way Halloween 1000%. In more recent days, Miss Cassandra has come out, being in a relationship for 20 years almost with a woman. I was watching a few of her interviews, and she was talking about how she kind of didn't want to come out for a little bit just because she has such a big male audience, and it was just kind of like, well, But she was like that too with her husband. She was also married for quite some time. I think it was like 20 years. And she didn't want to showcase that relationship either, because she was afraid that her fans would just like not like her. So overall, like, this is a very fun look. It's not a very easy look, but it's definitely an enjoyable one. I don't have a wig that has like a bouffant in it, and last time that I tried it, it came out terrible. So I bought these clip-in bangs, and I'm gonna stick these in real quick and finish off the look. And that, my friends, basically sums up this look for today. I'm not gonna add the bouffant, like I said, or make it poofy, because it's not gonna work. But the clip-ins work, and if you want like a more low-key look, this works, you know what I'm saying? But I hope you guys enjoyed today. Elvira is a pretty interesting character. There wasn't too much information. It wasn't like a long-winded production, movie, notes, all that sort of stuff. I mean, there were movies, but I just kind of wanted to go into the character details. But who knows, perhaps in the future we'll do one of the movies and talk a little bit more in detail about how it did, all that sort of stuff. But today was about Cassandra, and today was about Elvira. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you guys did, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button today. And we'll see you guys on Monday with another movie makeup look. I'm super excited for this month, and we got another fun one on the way. We'll see you guys later. See ya.